There we go. Right, ladies and gents, so finding your space first of all, making sure the dog and the dragons and the balls are removed, so there's nothing to slip over. And then we're going to start in set position. So you just put your heels below your hips first of all. Your knees nice and soft, and then just relaxing through your shoulders. Now let your weight come evenly into both feet. And then just give your knees a little bit of movement, and then just allow them to stay soft and relaxed. Now as you breathe in, let the breath roll from the base of your spine over to the crown of your head, and then gently nod the chin in so your eye gaze is forward. So from here, our pelvic tilts to move up to our lower back first of all. So if you imagine you're holding a bucket of water, your pelvis is full to the brim of water. And what you're going to try and do is pour the water over the back of your pelvis, and then try and pour it over the front of your pelvis. Now you're going to try and breathe out as you pour it over the back, and then take a breath in as you pour it over the front. And again, you're keeping both knees nice and relaxed, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, and then see if you can allow your tailbone to tuck a little further under, so we get a little bit more connection coming into the lower abdominals. If you're happy with that movement with your pelvis, just let the hands rest down by your thighs, or you can keep holding your pelvis to help that movement. Now the next time we come into our tuck, if you're holding your bowl of water, you want to imagine that water is really flat in your pelvis. So that's going to keep us in a neutral spine. You feel like your ribs are gently drawn down towards your hips. And then as you breathe in, let the shoulders just simply rise, and then breathe out to draw them back and down. So the breath comes in through the nose, and then you're breathing out through your mouth. You're trying to keep your knees soft, your tailbone just gently tucked, and don't let the ribs lift as your shoulders lift. And then I want you to feel the connection in your mid-back as you draw the shoulder blades right down towards the back pockets. That should also create a nice stretch across the top of the shoulders. So this time as we roll the shoulders back and down, we're going to hold the shoulders away from our ears. Make sure we're gently drawing the belly button back to the spine to keep neutral. And keeping your feet flat, which you sway forward, trying to keep that length in the spine. And then you're going to sway back into your heels, keeping the chin nodded in and the ears in line with the shoulders. Now we're going to take a breath in as you come forwards, and then start to breathe out as you sway back. I'm not going too far, but there's that point of return, no return even. And then this time as you come forward, keeping the shoulders down, just allow the arms to float to shoulder height. But if you go too far, you end up falling over. So you're breathing out through the mouth as you sway forward, and then in through the nose. Let the hands come just behind the hips. And again, we're just keeping the feet flat all the way through, and just letting the movement come through the ankles. We're going to do that twice more. Shoulder blades still drawing down to the back of the ribs. And then one more time. And then this time, we just stay in centre and back in set position. Into our side bends next. Keeping your tailbone tucked so the water in your pelvis would be really level. And without spilling your water, you're just going to gently ease from one side and then over to the other. Now you want to keep the hips still. So to help keep the hips still, just make sure the weight stays evenly placed through both feet. If your foot starts to lift as you bend to the side, you'll see the hips start to move. So you want to imagine that you're being literally set in concrete from your hips and below. Shoulders are still drawing away from the ears. And you just want to feel a mild stretch going through the side of the body. Your ear falling towards your shoulder, and then lengthening all the way up to the crown of your head. And then if you want to go a little deeper, your option is to bring your hands to your head, but pull the shoulder blades down and the ribs. And then breathing in, elbow towards the hip this time, and breathing out to rise. And try not to let the weight rock from one foot to the other. You might feel that if you gently press your right foot into the floor as you bend to your left, that's going to help to keep the hips still. And then again, gently press into the left heel as you bend to your right. And then this time in the centre, we're going to rest in the middle. From here, you can simply float both arms down, roll back into the shoulders and draw the abdominals in, and then float both arms back in line with the shoulders. Just a simple breath in as you draw the elbow back for some rotation to our spine. And if this feels uncomfortable for any reason, you can simply just put your hands across your chest and work with the rotation here. Now again, as we turn and move through our spine, we're still set in concrete. There's no turn through the hips. Your weight stays even in both feet. You're still pulling up through the crown of the head. And as you lengthen all the way through the spine, that's going to help you to rotate a little further. We're going to do that once more to each side. And then we're going to simply just float the arms back down. Your peace fingers just resting on your hip bones. Now if you allow your hip to drop, the fingers won't be in line. So you want to keep the hips really level, tuck under with the bottom, and we're going to lift the right heel for a foot pedal, and then we'll place the heel back down. Now I want you to focus first of all, as you change from one foot to the other, there's no drop in the pelvis. You're trying to keep your upper body nice and long. Shoulders are relaxed. You've got that little tuck under with the tailbone still. And then we're going to alternate our feet. So your right heel lifts, and if you're feeling your pelvis stays level, then you can start to alternate the feet. Now each time you rise, feel like the head draws up towards the ceiling. And as you lower, feel like the crown of your head still stays drawn upwards towards the ceiling. And you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Into the rise and out to lower. Now the next time we come to our right foot, we're going to keep the right heel lifted and we're going to add back in the arms. So keep the right heel just lifted here. Knees are in line with the toes and then bring the arms forward. You're going to pull your right arm back, and as you alternate the feet, we're also going to alternate the arms. Now feel your eye gaze stays in a really straight line coming from one side of the room all the way around to the other. So again, you want to be aware that your tailbone is still gently tucked under, that your knees are pushing forward in line with the toes, and you're not letting the knee push out to the side. And again, a really slow, controlled movement, so we start to feel the deeper muscles working for our stability and our balance. And again, one more on each side here. And then both heels down and both arms down. Little release through the shoulders. Let's come into our foot pedals with our squats today. So the feet come just outside your hip sockets, not outside your hip joints. Ideally, all 10 toes forward, but we need to make sure the knees track in line with the toes. So if you need to slightly turn your feet out to a diagonal, that's allowed too. Our set position for our spines are neutral, so the tailbone is tucked. Shoulders draw back and down to the ribs. And we're going to take a breath in. As we breathe out, you're going to lift your right heel and your arms. A breath in to lower, and then breathe out with a rise. Your hips always move back first. And again, when you lift your heel, you want to make sure the weight comes onto the ball of your foot. And you're not letting that knee shoot out to the side. And each time I want you to reset your body in that nice posture that we started with. You're going to push down through both heels. And as you rise, start to give your bottom a little squeeze. Now from here, as you lift the heel, you can lift the arms at the same time. Or if you prefer, once you're at the bottom, you can lift the arms, bend the heel down, arms down, and then rise. So that's a little harder because we're holding our squat position just a little bit longer. And we're going to do 4 more. The in-breath to lower, out-breath to lift the arms, breathe in to lift your heel, breathe out to lower, breath in as your arms come down, and breathe out with the rise. And you'll feel how much harder that is. A lot more work for the front of your thigh. And up tall. So you've got 1 left on each leg. And again, just be aware that when you lift the arms, Your shoulders don't rise up towards your ears. So try and keep this space the whole time. The last one on this leg. And then push through the heels, squeeze the bottom, and back into a nice set position. Let's try the single leg squats next. So your feet are back into set position, which means they're right underneath your hips. Your right foot slides forward, and your right leg is straight. So you're resting on the toe, and the heel is lifted. Again, the first thing, we're going to sit back with the hips, keeping our neutral spine. Then you're going to float the arms forward, back down to the thighs, push down through your heel, and bring the hips forward. You're breathing in to sit back, out to lift the arms, in to lower, and then out with your arms. I'm just going to do 6 more on this leg. So if you feel 6 is too many, and you get to 5 and you've had enough, then you can have a rest. We're halfway there. It's a better way of me keeping count. We have 4 left. Now you can try for your last 4 to keep your right foot just hovering off the ground. Your left leg might feel a little bit more wobbly, but that's allowed. Just means all the deeper muscles work a little harder, trying to stabilize your balance as you move. Last 2 here. Breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through your nose, and then up tall as you breathe out. One more time. Slow breath in, breathe out, slow breath in, and then breathe out to rise and step back in. So you might want to just shake your legs off. Come back in set position when you're ready and slide your left foot forward this time. Just make sure the hips even, a little square, with your head lights forward and your tailbone tucked. Shoulders are back, and then breathe. In, push the bottom back. Out to float the arms forward, in to lower the arms down, and then push through your right heel and drive your hips back under the shoulders. Breathe in through the nose, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now we're always using our out breath with the effort. And because when we use our out breath with the effort, it creates a stronger connection into our core. Now for your last 4, if you want to let the foot hover off the ground, feel free to do so. Again, if it makes you feel too wobbly, just simply keep the foot resting lightly on the floor. All the work and the weight is in your right leg. You've still got that gentle tuck under the tailbone. And when you come forward, we're still trying to keep that nice long back. Abdominals drawn in. And then a big push through the heel. One last time. And then lengthen all the way back up into set position. Okay, we're going to focus on floor work more today. So if you want to work your way down to the ground in the position where you can comfortably see, just give that phone a quick readjust. If you come into a seated position first of all, and I'll explain the first block of exercises. So again, we've got intermediates and beginners today. So listen to the options and stay with the option that feels correct for you. We are going to start in a box position. Now, in our normal box position, your knees are under your hips. We are going to bring the knees slightly forward of the hips. You can either have your toes flat or your toes tucked. Now, the first move is to let your weight come forward into your hands. Lift the knees just an inch off the ground. Lower the knees. And you can allow yourself to rock back a little. Then from there, our progression is going to extend one leg back into the centre and then lower. And we're going to alternate legs. And we might make it a little bit more challenging. So if you do have issues with the flexion of your wrists, you can always roll up a towel, maybe a smaller towel than this, and you can place your hands on the wrist so it reduces the flexion of your wrist and it gives you a little bit more of a release through that wrist joint. So from here, your hands are under your shoulders are drawn back, and your knees walk an inch or 2 forward and choose the position for your toes, what feels comfortable. Now let your body weight come forward into your hands. Just pick your knees up an inch off the ground and hover, elbows are soft, knees come back down, and you can ease back. So you're going to breathe out, come forward, keep breathing out to lift the knees. Breath in to lower the knees, and a release back. So I know we don't always like to be on our hands, but it's really good to help decrease the onset of osteoporosis, especially through our upper back and our cervical spine. I know it's not nice, but it's definitely effective. Okay, from here, this time, see how it feels. Once you've lifted your knees, keep your left knee close to the ground and just extend your right leg back. Then bring the right knee in, lower, and rock back. So again, rocking forwards first. Knees lifting, left leg back, left knee in, and lower. So you're trying to keep your ears up in line with the shoulders. And if the knee lift is enough, just stay with the knee lift. Try and relax the elbows just a little. Now we're going to do 2 more. And your option now for your last 2 is once you step your right leg back, then take your left leg back. Then bring your right knee in, your left knee in, ease down, and have a little rock back. 1 more time. Stay with single legs or just a knee lift if that's for you. Squeeze both thighs, legs are straight. Left knee comes in first. Then your right knee, knees lower, and then sit back, all the way to the heels this time. Walk your hands forward. Relax the shoulders. Maybe bring your head down to the ground. And now we're going to take our hands back towards our feet. And you want to be more of a shell-shaped position rather than a ski slope position. So you're going to work on tucking under the tailbone for that nice deep release through your lower back. Okay, from here, we're going to take don't roll. We're just going to bring our body weight forwards and then gently lower down towards the ground. So your elbows in by your ribs. Ease your chest to the floor and rest in here. Now, what we're going to do first of all is let your hands rest together. So your elbows point outwards. And we're going to work on the upper back for a little bit of extension. We start with our head rested. First movement is to draw your shoulder blades down into the back of the ribs and then gently draw your tailbone towards your heels. And all that sensation that your belly button is gently lifting away from the ground. Now, taking a breath in to prepare, all I want you to do is breathe out and just allow your chest to lift, keeping your eye gaze down, and then a breath in as you release. Drawing the tailbone to the heels. Using your out breath as you lift through your upper back and the in breath as you lower. Now we're trying to make sure that when we lift, we're able to keep our bottoms relaxed. So just notice your bottom as you lift this time. If it gets to the point where your bottom really has to squeeze, then don't lift as high. And just be aware that when you do lift, you're not pressing your belly button back in towards the ground. So this is your first option for this exercise. Second option is to bring the elbows out into this 90-degree position. First move again, draw the shoulder blades down to the back of the ribs. And we're going to lift alternate arms. So we breathe in to prepare. We're going to breathe out with a lift, keeping your forearm parallel to the ground, and then a breath in to release. Now, if you feel your bottom is still tensing up, try to take your feet a little wider and let the heels roll to the outsides. That stops the glutes firing up as easily. And again, you might not lift as high, but it's keeping the work in the upper back, not forcing your belly into the floor, and keeping your eye gaze down to the ground at the same time. You're breathing out through the mouth with a lift, and then into your nose as you lower. Keep drawing the shoulders away from your ears. We're going to do our last one on each side. And then we're going to focus on our legs. So you can bring your hands back forward and allow your head to rest on your hands. But don't pull the shoulders up to the ears. Pull them back and down. Now your feet want to be about hip distance apart. Now you can either rest on the tops of your toes, or for the first move, try with your toes just slightly tucked. Now, what we're going to try is draw our tailbone to our heels, so our belly button is lifted again. We're going to breathe in through our nose. As we breathe out, we're just going to lift the right knee off the floor so we straighten the leg. And as you breathe in, let your thigh and your knee rest. And then breathe out, left knee lifts. Squeeze the thigh, drawing the tailbone to the heel, and a breath in to release. So we're trying to move through the legs, and we're trying to keep our upper back and our shoulders and our neck nice and relaxed. Now from here, we're going to add a leg lift. So it might be better on the tops of your toes. You're going to lift your right knee first, so that squeezes into your thigh, and then lift in a straight leg. And then lower your foot, and then relax your knee. So your left knee, squeeze it off the floor. Squeeze your left buttock to lift a straight leg. And then lower the foot, then relax the knee. Can you do this and not push your belly button back into the ground? So you're still focusing on keeping a neutral spine as you work through your legs. We're going to do it once more on each leg, keeping the neck and the shoulders relaxed. And then we're going to multitask. We're going to work the arms and the legs together. So you can bring your elbows back out to this 90-degree position. Don't hug the ears with your shoulders, hold them back, create space, lengthen through the back of your neck and all the way to your tailbone. Draw the belly button up to the back and take a breath in. Right arm and left leg. With the out breath, we lift, squeezing the thigh first and lifting a straight leg. And a breath in to release. Now less is more. You can lift higher, but you bend into that lower back. So you're trying to keep the neutral spine. You're trying not to push your belly in towards the ground. And you're also trying to lengthen all the way down the spine at the same time. So there's a feeling that you're pulling the crown of your head forwards and you're pulling your tailbone back towards your heels. Now, if you're happy with this move, you can stay here. You can bring it back to just the arms or the legs, or we can try and lift both arms and legs together. So both forearms just hover off the ground. You're breathing out, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the bottom of the lift. And then a breath in as you ease down. Okay, let's go with 2 more here. And then we'll give our back a release. If you've had enough, you can rest at any time. And then we all rest. Bring your hands in. Little swivel in that. Hands by your ribs, squeeze the elbows in. Push through the heels of your hands and bring your knees back in under the hips. As we move into our cat stretch, we're going to get movement through each vertebrae. So I don't want you to just lift the back like this. I want to imagine you've got a belt here around your ribs, so nothing is going to move from above your belt. You're going to start with a tuck under your tailbone first. It's a really subtle move. You feel the stretch in the lower back. Then allow it to come to your mid-back and then roll into your upper back. And that way you'll feel much more stretch between each vertebrae. You're going to allow your tummy to come down and your eye gaze to lift. And then you're going to come back into your neutral position, taking a breath in. Breathe out, tailbone under first. And then keep breathing out to round all the way through your spine. And let's do that just once more. That gives you a nice release through that lower back area. Come into neutral, keep the rib cage still. Tuck under with the bottom first. And again, you don't actually feel like you're moving, but you feel the stretch between each vertebrae. And then you're going to rest into the center I'm going to come into a sideline position next. So when you're ready, you can just take a little turn and come onto your side. We're going to work with leg circles. We're going to focus on keeping the hips still. And even though we're lying down, we're focusing on our posture, that alignment that we're trying to maintain. Now, if you prefer, you can place a cushion here and bring the arm forward and let your head rest. That might be a little bit more comfortable. Or the arm extended. And I want you to turn your palm up to the ceiling so you're not holding onto the floor. Roll the shoulder back. Now, when you lie down, your hip will naturally collapse up towards your ribs. This distance here becomes a little shorter. So let's lengthen. Push your top foot away and feel like your hip pulls away from your ribs. You can see how it's a lot straighter and more open here. You can check that by just placing your hand underneath your bottom rib, and you should have a tiny little bit of space there. Now we're going to try and maintain that space. You can keep your hand here or here for that little bit of feedback. We're going to breathe in to prepare, and then just breathe out with a lift and hold here. You're going to circle your leg forward. You want to let your foot come just slightly forward of your hip joint and then slightly back behind your hip joints. You're breathing in as your leg lowers and then breathing out as your leg lifts. Now try and feel that as you're moving your leg, the rest of your body isn't moving. So it is about that trunk stability and isolating the muscles around the hip joints. One more circle, and then at the top, we circle the other way. Now think about your lower back. As your foot goes just behind your hip, is your back trying to arch? Can you pull your tummy button slightly back to the spine and resist the arch in your lower back? So we're keeping our core strong, our back in that long neutral position, and all the work into the hips. Tiny little bit bigger with the circle if you can. And one last time. And then when you finish your last one, you can just simply close the legs down. Give a little rub to the bottom. Okay, from here, just bring the knees forward, so your knees are pointing directly forward, and your heels are in line with your hips. Again, you'll feel that hip collapses up, so you can see how that's almost wrinkled my t-shirts. So as you push the hip away, you're trying to lengthen here and maintain that length and that little lift. Place your hand on your hip. Take a breath in, and you're going to breathe out to open the knees. So as we move into our clamp, we're aware that our ribs aren't pushing forward when our knee lifts. We keep the edge of the feet together, and we keep this really long waist, so we're not squashed up into the spine. And again, the more you're keeping the trunk of your body still, and your pelvis still, only muscles that can do the work of these ones here. And that's where you should start to feel it. So let's use our out breath with the lift. And then our in breath as we ease down. Out through your mouth, in through your nose. And we're going to stay at the top this time. So don't let this part of your leg move. I want you to extend from your knee and pretend we're just going to extend the leg forward. Hold here and glance and check your thighs are still parallel. And then just bring your toe back. You're going to breathe out again to extend, and a slow breath in to tap. Breathing out through the mouth, in through the nose, bottom ribs still ever so slightly lifted. Lots of length in your waist here. And then we can talk about the burn that's coming into your bottom right now. And my lack of counting skills. I think you have 3 left. If I'm wrong and you've got 4 left, carry on and do 4. It's hard trying to talk so much and count. I can't even count to 3. I think that's your 3rd. And then from here, all you need to do is close the knees. And again, you might want to rub that area just for a little release. In your own time, nice and slowly, just turn onto the other side. And you can look forward to your circles again. So again, as you come down onto your mat, let's just take a minute to set up our position. Your palm facing the ceiling or your elbow forward with a cushion. Ear resting on the arm, top shoulder rolling back, And then again from here, you want to make your top leg just a little bit longer than your bottom leg and tuck under with your tailbone. You're lengthening with the top leg and you're lifting your foot just above the shoulder, and then you're circling forwards. So as you circle with the leg, you're keeping your back nice and still. Sorry, that was me. I know what I did there. Sorry, we're back. We're back. We just knocked the tennis club one off. So you're going to keep constantly lengthening through your leg, reaching away into your toes. Are we all back on there on the tennis club one? When you've done your 6 circles forward, you're going to start to circle the leg back. Keep pushing away through the toes at the same time, so you've got that feeling of your hips being pulled away from your ribs. Sorry, I just lost the tennis club somehow. And then when you finish that circle, maybe try and take it just a little bit bigger as you move the opposite way around. Aware of that bottom rib staying lifted and your waist staying nice and long. Then try and squeeze your bottom leg really, really straight. And then as you come to the top, you can lower the leg down. Bring your knees forwards, they point, and your heels sit behind your bottom. So I'm not going to rest my head down because I've realised I keep turning on Siri and cutting off the tennis club. So I'm going to keep my head popped up. Push the hip away again, tuck under the tailbone, and then we're going to open just into our nice simple climb. We're breathing out through the mouth as the knee opens, and a slow breath in as your knee closes. Aware that your hips don't roll back, and aware that your ribs don't push forwards. That's why we use the out breath, because it makes everything draw inwards, and then the in breath to release. As you're breathing out, you're drawing your belly button back towards your spine, and then breathing in as the knees close. The edge of the feet still together, really long here through your waist, very slightly lifted here. And then we're going to come into our leg extension. So at the top, you're going to hold here. Keep the thighs still, and then extend your leg and tap your toe. Breathe out to reach, and a breath in to release. So again, this upper part of the leg as still as possible, all the way through. Squeezing the thigh to get a full extension, but not flinging out through your knees. So you're not letting your knees snag at the top. And again, light tap of the toe, big squeeze through the thigh, slow breath in to release, out breath to extend, and 2 more to the top. And then when you have finished your last one, we're going to bring the toes down, the knees down, and then we get to have another roll. From there, we're going to have a roll onto our backs when you're ready. So in your own time, just roll onto your back. Let me double check this one. Still got everybody with us. Yeah, we have. Just double checking you're all still there. Right, so again, we're going to still look at that same movement through our hips, and we're going to look at that stability of our pelvis. We're going to come back to circles. What we're going to do from here is find our neutral spine. So again, you want to think about your hip bones. They're going to be pointing to the ceiling rather than... And I've gone sideways. Just let me... Is that better? Modern technology. I realised when I laid down, because I've got the ear thing in, it's got a button on it called Siri. So when I laid down, Siri came up on my screen. I'm thinking, what's going on? But there's a little button in my ear. I'll watch for that one in future. So now I'm not doing a handstand, and I'm back in this right position. We're going to come into knee circles. You're going to extend your left leg out. You're going to keep your neutral position and gently draw down with the ribs, letting the shoulders relax. Bring your right knee above your hip. Now we're going to do circles through the knee. So the knee comes in across your body and gently out to the side. As you're moving through your knee, you're trying not to let your pelvis rock from side to side. If you want to progress, you can take this into a leg circle. You're breathing in as your leg moves away, and breathing out as it comes back into center. Bent knee is an option if you've got tight hamstrings. And again from here, one more time, and you're going to stay with the knee above the hip. You're going to pull the knee in and then push away, keeping neutral spine. Breathing in through your nose and then breathing out through your mouth. Trying to be aware that as you push the leg away, you're not allowing the back to lift off the ground. You've got that strong connection between your ribs and your hips. And you're just challenging those muscles to keep the back still and resist the movement of your legs. We're going to do just 2 more here. And 1 more. And then from here, bring the foot to the floor, slide the leg away, and then bring the left knee in and above the hip. So your shin parallels the ceiling, nice and strong through your pelvis, ribs are connected to your hips, and then just start to circle the knee at your own pace. Breathing in to circle the knee away, and breathing out to pull it back into the middle. So we're getting lots of mobility through the hips, but we've also got stability on that right hand side. You don't want to feel as your knee moves away, your other hip lifts off the ground. You notice the difference, everything's still. You're just moving and mobilizing through the hips. 1 more time. And then as the knee comes back above the hip this time, you're going to hold the knee at 90 degrees. You're going to breathe in, push the leg away, and then breathe out to draw the knee back. Again, avoid this happening, so you don't want the ribs to flare. You don't want that back to lift. You want to keep that space set between your ribs and hips. You're breathing in to push and breathing out to pull back. Your chin is nodded in, and hopefully the shoulders stay relaxed and down towards the floor. See if you can allow the leg to go a little further without letting your lower back lift. And your last one here, and then from here, place the foot to the floor and bend the opposite knee. Now we're going to reach our hands, palms down towards our ankles. And we're going to come in some crunches, and then we'll add in some arm floats. So your chin is tucked in, you're in neutral spine, and your hip bones are pointing to the ceiling. Your hands are on the floor. We're going to breathe in, and with the out breath, we're tucking our chin. Slide your fingertips towards your ankles and check you're still in neutral. So you haven't let that back press into the floor. You've still got that space here. And then gently rolling back down. You want to start with the chin first. Then you want to push your hands to your ankles so you feel your shoulder blades pull into your ribs. And then follow that roll. And hopefully that will take a little bit of strain out of the neck. So chin in first. Push the hands to the ankles. And then roll up through the spine. So that's your first option for your crunch. Your second option is once you come to that top position, lift the arm and then press down. And as you lift the arm, don't let the ribs lift away from the hips. And then gently roll back into your start position. Reach the ankles, tuck in the chin, lift one arm, press the palm down. Then lift the other arm, press the palm down, and then roll back. Slide the shoulders away first. Feel the roll through each vertebrae as you rise. Feel like when you're moving the arms, no change of position here. So you can almost imagine you've got strings on your ribs, and those strings are pulling the ribs towards the hips, and they're holding them really still as the arms move. And if you feel quite happy with the single arms, you can stay there. Or from here, you can lift both arms twice. Press downwards. Breathe in, let the arms lift. Breathe out to press down. And then a breath in to release. So let's go again. In through our nose. Out through the mouth. In through your nose. Out with a lift. In to press down. And your out breath to release. Breathe in to prepare. Breathe out to rise. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out, and a breath in to release. and you can rest. You can hug your knees in just to release your lower back. Now, once you've hugged your knees in, just allow them to come a little bit wider and almost bring them down towards the outside of your chest in that direction. And that's going to bring a release into our lower back as well as through the hips. Nod the chin in. And then from here, just take the hands behind the back of your knees and just do a few releasing circles. So you're just going to circle the legs outwards. And then as you come into the centre this time, circle them the other way. Push away, take them wide and pull back in. So again, just nice and mobilising movements for the hip joints. Your last one. And as you come into the centre, you're going to hold the back of your knees, you're going to tuck in your chin and take a roll up. Fix your hair, kind of. And then as you come into a seated position, just let's extend the legs forward. Now, when you take your legs forward, if you press your knees down to the floor, it starts to stretch the hamstrings. But if you're pressing your knees down, I don't want your back to land. I'd like you to first of all sit right up onto your sit bones, draw the shoulder blades back, and then encourage a little bit of length through the legs. That might be enough of a stretch there, so you can stay there. Or you can just let your hands rest on your thighs and allow yourself to hinge forwards. And again, you're trying to keep this space here. If you let your ribs collapse down, your back rounds and that stretch is gone. You can almost come all the way down. But by lengthening and keeping really good form, again, it just allows that stretch to stay into the back of your thighs. Then you can gently walk the hands forward while keeping the chest lifted and the shoulders drawn back. And lots of breath. Now again, you might be up here with the knees bent. So as you breathe in, as you breathe out, try and press the knees a little further down. So it just gently increases that stretch down the back of your thighs. And now everybody pull your toes in so it takes a stretch into your calves. And again, lots of breath. And see if you can develop that stretch when you breathe out. And then release your toes. Gently rise back into your set position. And then from here, just let your legs sweep behind as we work our way back up. So as we bring our knees behind, your hands are going to be under your shoulders. We're going to tuck them under with our toes and pull up with the hips. Now, if you need to bend your knees a little so you can poke your bottom right up into the air. Sometimes if your legs are straight, it's hard to get the bottom up. So bend your knees a little if you need to. Press your chest to your thighs to get your back nice and long and a really deep shoulder stretch. And then bend your right knee and press your left heel back. And just simply alternate your feet, just a little release through your calves. Keep pressing down through both hands, keep your shoulders nice and strong. And one more on each side. And then from here, straighten both legs and try and press the heels to the ground. And now try and lift your toes upwards. That deepens your stretch. And don't forget to breathe. Nice big breath. And as you breathe out, take a little bit more weight back into the heels. Oh, it feels kind of nice. And then bend your knees and step forward. Bring your feet in underneath your hips. Knees are soft. Then tip forward from the hips and just allow your head to hang. You're going to feel a little bit of release all the way through your spine. Drawing the chin gently into the chest. Let that release come into your neck. And then breathe in. And with your out breath, making sure the knees are soft. Just let your hands slide back up your thighs, or you can walk your hands back to help you come more upright. Keeping the chin tucked in. I think Lexi knows my routine better than me, so as soon as I do that, she gets up. As you breathe in, take a lift of the arms. Breathe out, take a nice little reach up to the ceiling. And as you're reaching up to the ceiling, you're just feeling your ribs pull away from your hips. And enjoy your side bend. Just a little reach over to the side. Into the middle. And then up and over to the other side. And as the hands come into the centre, just let them come down. Little twist release, just a little turn to your right. And then over to your left. Keep the hips nice and still. Turning through your spine. turning through your chest. And then once more across to your left. And then when the hands come down, let the shoulders lift up and release them down. And one more time, breathing in and letting it go. And giving yourselves a clap for your hard work. Well done, everybody. Thank you.